So nowadays, for most melee characters, you have the rune word Grief. It is absolutely spectacular, super powerful. It's kind of on a tier of its own. But way back when we were kids, we had another item that was absolutely spectacular. It was way more powerful than other stuff, and that's because it was a bugged item. And I'm talking about these Ith swords right here. Here's 3 examples of what I'm talking about. Now you could get these in all different types of items, pretty much everything that could be socketed. You could get Ith armors, you could get Ith shields, Ith bows. Now I don't know how many different versions of this Ith Colossus blade there was, but I'm taking this one right here because it, I guess, looks like the most powerful out of the examples I could find. And let's see how good this would work if it existed in 2025 in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now, we're definitely not doing a full build guide, but we did the standard max Vita type of build. We got a pretty normal Whirlwind build by maxing out Whirlwind, maxing out Sword Mastery because that's what we're using. We go our 1-point wonders here on the lower part of the combat masteries. And then we got battle orders maxed out, and we got ahead and maxed out Find Potion since it is now a synergy for Find Item. And you got to be using Find Item skill if you're using a Barbarian. We decided to go over on the combat skill tree and put the remaining points into Berserk. This is a good skill to take care of any of those physical immunes. Now looking at the gear, Chammed Ariats, Enigma, we get Laying of Hands, just a couple of BK rings, some simple good rings to throw on any melee character, I suppose. String of Ears, Gore Riders, and we got High Lords up here. On swap, we want to dual Heart of the Oaks so we can get our battle orders a little better, and if we want to teleport around with Enigma, we at least are up over a relatively reasonable breakpoint. We didn't get to 105, but I'm not worrying about it too much. Now down to the inventory, yes, I did hero edit these in, but they're all 3 2020s. These will get a ton of damage on this character. You got to have a Geeds, Torch, and Annie, of course. And now for the main show here, this is the best I could do to kind of recreate what these Ith swords actually looked like. And this, like I said, just one example. Really, people could go ahead and utilize this like glitch or whatever, and then kind of make them look the way that they wanted. So this was the one that looked probably like the best. The one-handed damage was up to 709, and the two-handed damage with the max is 1159. Now that's an absolutely crazy amount. That ends it right here. You see the Whirlwind with 5,600 damage. Now we're going to take these out and use them in some common barbarian areas, but you kind of want to also see like how would this compare to the modern day griefs? And that is exactly why first we're going to throw those on, 2 of them in fact, and head out to some of these areas. Now we're going to start this off at players 1. Melee characters nowadays are kind of less strong than casters because of when they added in synergies, they boosted up the life of the monsters, but they didn't boost up the base damage of the weapons. But we do have griefs here with that huge flat damage. So we'll whirlwind through here, see how fast this goes. And no, I know you're going to say, well, you're not whirlwinding in the tightest of triangles, Phil. It's not absolutely perfect. I get it. I'm not perfect. So there they got ripped down. So that wasn't too slow. I mean, dual griefs is awesome after all. Now we'll go ahead and throw on our, right here, dual Ith swords, our recreation of the dual Ith swords anyways. And let's see how this one will go. Same map setup, of course. Go ahead, whirlwind in here. Hit. It actually looks remarkably the same, I think. Hard to say exactly. We might actually have to do a few more tests, but yeah, looks pretty close to a grief, in fact. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Maybe if we raise the players count, it'll give us more of an idea of how close to grief these actually are. So we went ahead and bumped it up to players 3. Let's go ahead and check with the griefs here. Try to get our little triangles going through the packs. The last time I did it, I was kind of just whirlwinding straight through, so that might even be an argument for the Ith swords actually being better than grief. So that wasn't too bad. A few things right here I didn't item find yet. We'll go ahead and hit that, and let's see how those Ith swords are on Players 3 difficulty here at Trev. Now I'm predicting these knockoff Ith swords, we'll call it, Timu Ith swords, to do a little bit better than grief actually, is what it seemed like. Now that we're whirlwinding through on the triangles right there, you know what? I think it maybe is a little bit better than grief. It's pretty close though still. I think bumping it up to a little bit higher even, we'll go players 8 difficulty, will kind of be the deciding factor here, for Trav at least, but we'll try it in some other areas too. Alright, and we got it on player 7, and of course we want to go ahead and test it with the griefs first. The thing is, sometimes you get the split set up like this, so it's going to be a little bit harder to kind of judge or whatever, so part of the issue there. Now on player 7 here, they're up against the wall here, you can't really get the triangle whirlwinds as well. I try to do them a little bit. I'm not an expert there, but okay. See, the dual griefs are working pretty good. We can go hit them with the Berserk once in a while if we need to. If there's just one of them, we can feel free to do that. And yeah, that is the dual grief. And now for the fun one, let's see how these dual is swords go. We got the same setup here with the council out here. Go ahead, spin through, spin through. It doesn't really look like it's doing as much as grief. Hard to say for sure. And maybe it is really hard to say with them spread out like that compared to what they were before. Very hard to tell, to be perfectly honest. You know what? Actually, it literally looks exactly the same the more I think about it. In my opinion, I think they were essentially identical. But feel free to let me know what you think of this particular one out of Trab down in the comments, but we're going to move on to a couple of different areas. Now we're going to start with a super easy area that's out here at Eldritch and then down to Shank. And the thing is too, I'm not bothering P1, P3, you know, we're just jumping right to player 7 difficulty. There's some other packs around here. Really, the archers are the most annoying, huh? Champion archer right there. So this is the dual grief setup, by the way. And we'll jump down to the other pack down here. Eldritch out, Shank now. Go ahead and chop him away. And usually, you know, you could take out the whole pack and then go after Shank last, or you can take him out first and these guys will all drop dead. That's usually what I do. Take out Shank first and watch everyone else drop down. Pick up what they drop. Nothing here, but yeah, I mean, that went out pretty good. And just to double check, just to kind of show, we're at P7. Now, of course, same spot with the knockoff Ith swords, that is. Spin, spin, spin through here. Yeah, once again, it's remarkably looks similar. Possibly, it's hard to say with since I went after the archers for a minute, but this looks remarkably similar. Maybe the other pack will tell the tale. So I did just go ahead and take out just Shank, the Overseer, in here. That's what I tried to do the last time anyways, and wow, yeah, that actually looked faster. So I believe these Is swords are actually better than Griefs. So I think a great place to test these out are against packs of monsters that have a lot of health, and that's going to be the Secret Cow level. Also, back in the day, people used to run this non-stop. Go ahead and find some cows here. Here's a good cow pack. We'll try and not get too many, but just to give us an idea here. Try and do the little tight triangles as best as I can anyways. Some cows are starting to go down. Now, these cows have a ton of health nowadays, just a ton. This used to, back in the day, anything as powerful as like a grief like this would just like one-shot, even players 8 cows on Whirlwind. So that's just one pack right there. Maybe we'll go after another pack, try to get one that looks like, you know, 10 or 20 cows. All right, this is about the amount of cows I wanted to see. So let's go ahead and attack. And yeah, our mercenary is hitting cows and dealing damage there, but hey, we're getting the same damage on both builds here with both swords, so it's no big deal. And yeah, you can kind of see how fast it kills each individual cow in a pack that size. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how this looks with these Ith swords. So the cows are set up a little bit different. This is a monstrous pack, but we'll get after it anyways. So we'll run through here, and it does actually blind all the cows, so that's kind of an important thing to note, I guess, for the safety or whatever. So whirlwinding. We're getting a little bit better tight triangles here, I suppose. So these are the same P7 cows. Now out here, this is actually looking slower, I believe. At all the other places, it seemed faster, but now this is looking slower. For whatever reason, maybe a little bit of a skill issue, who knows, but I will go do another pack just to kind of make sure, at least one more pack, maybe a few more, obviously, because we're having fun with these Ith swords out here. There was a lot more cows here than there was on the final pack with the Griefs, but, yeah, this is feeling slower. It's looking slower. Hard to really say for sure. Now I notice I put Indestructible on these, but it isn't here. So this is actually it looking in the hero editor. I put Indestructible on it. It's not on the item. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but for our purposes, this doesn't really change anything. So let's go ahead and try to find a little bit of a smaller pack that was more around the size of the second one that we went ahead after. And this, I believe, will be a good one right here. There's not too many cows. There's a few more coming down. There are champions coming down, I suppose, but let's go ahead and see with the smaller pack. We'll just take into account that there are indeed champions coming down. Yeah, you're definitely, with these being ethereal, you definitely want these to be indestructible. While that smaller pack seemed a lot faster. So it might have just been because that pack was so big. I have to go after another one. This looks like a good size pack, not too big, not too small. Absolutely Goldilocks. We have a little bit of durability left on these swords. And we'll run through these little triangles here again. Try to anyways. Ooh, yeah, and it turns out that the swords just broke. One of them did anyways. Actually, both of them broke on the same whirlwind, crazy enough. But I'm going to be honest, it looked like this was about the same speed, I think. Pretty interesting looking at these bugged swords from back in the day, how they work in 2025 in Diablo 2 Resurrected. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe up before you go. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.